So, dear friends, we are going to start the work of our 12th Economic Forum. So I'm very glad to welcome you in the center of the historical building and to read this is the General Assembly of Interparliamentary of CIS countries, and traditionally in this historic building we are starting the plenary session, which is dedicated to the integrated process and the framework of Greater Eurasia. I'm very glad to welcome you, directors, vice rectors, deans, the heads of the scientific centers from many our friendly higher educational establishments of CIS. First of all, also I'm very glad to welcome the representative of the China, which are here with us. I'm very glad to welcome our friends from the Republic of South Africa, because the integration means a very important issue on our planet, and the tasks which is set by Russia, by head of Russia, Vladimir Putin. So we need to cooperate in resolving global tasks with our partners. Those tasks we are going to touch. We're going to get some outcomes with our alliances, where we were, as Russia, the chairmanship, will discuss the prospects of the integration processes of Greater Eurasia for year of 2025. And of course, I would like to note the welcome attitude of the head of Interparliamentary Assembly of CIS countries, because in these walls, always in December, we meet together, and this is our good tradition. Currently, here in the hall, in an online mode, we'll have our partners from the heads of the Eurasian Commission, of the Secretariat of the Interparliamentary Commission, of the Eurasian Bank of Development, of the dedicated bodies from Russia, from Leningrad region, representative of business associations, of Chamber of Commerce, of heads of plants, and directors of the associations of Russian establishments. Our postgraduate students, I'm very proud that our forum became a very important platform to discuss the issues of Eurasian space at this level. Usually we hold this forum in December when we conclude something, and this year has become very important. There's 10 years since we signed the Treaty of the Eurasian Cities, 25 years of the cooperation between Russia, Union State between Russia and Belarus. So Russia is also doing championship in the CIS, and we are expanding. The BRICS is expanding up to 9 countries, and now the program, our forum, is going to represent this important issue for Eurasia, and we want to discuss the key points of development. Now, I also would like to tell a couple of points. Despite of many challenges, including discrimination in the trade and financial systems, other hotspots of wars and war risks of the secondary sanctions against the partners of the Russian Federation, our Eurasian Forum and Shanghai Cooperation Organizations, we are all withstanding this test for resilience, and we continue development. Also, we see that European Union, they are going more and more into the crisis, depending on the administration of the United States of America. It is for the first time that Germany is one of the countries, together with Austria, Finland, and Estonia, where in 2024, GDP got decreased. As to the ministry, 0.2%, there's a decrease in the economy. For example, in Germany, it's very surprising. It's the first time. This European labor market is in crisis. Many industries, they're transferring their manufacturing to Latin America, to Asia. American policy is trying to pressure Europe, its government, especially in the European Union. They're trying to pressure them and using more expensive energy resources. So instead of access, it proves that this unilateral model becomes not functional. And the wish of the United States that they want to be the only supplier of the energy resources to Europe is that it's also criticized. Probably you read there was a talk between Prime Minister of Hungary and Russia with Putin. They've got the security issues in the energy sector. It was much discussed because without Russian energy resources, the industrial capacities of many countries cannot work properly. Also, as to developing countries of the global south, which are growing the potential, they have new capacities for the economic cooperation at the level of the national governments, investment funds, also business associations. So I'm very glad to welcome Ms. Bridget Zulu-Libagan, the chairman of the Women's Business Alliance South African chapter. We hope that we'll continue development between businesses among BRICS alliances, and as the highest educational establishment, we are providing a lot of cooperation in many regions in Europe and Asia. In the Middle East, our graduates are working in Russian companies association, and also they are developing their own projects. And we hope that we are developing the international network based on the universities are doing input the international process on the regions of the Greater Eurasia. So on the sidelines of our forum, the topic of our plenary session is the interaction in Greater Eurasia as the basis of multipolar world. And currently, we are discussing the possible lines of cooperation in the Eurasian Ocean in the current conditions. During the second day here on the platform in our university, so we'll have main sessions will be dedicated to some specific lines of cooperation at the level of the Eurasian Economic Union and BRICS and the cooperation and the CIS countries. So we can say that between all integration alliances and communities, we have the task to increase the economic capacity through finding their own sources of industrial and investment, and the regional chains of production is also important. We need to intensify the economic cooperation between countries, and so we understand that every member state has its own strategies for economic development. As we know, the Russian Federation is implementing key lines through the priority national projects, the implementation of which is made by the president of the country by himself. There are 14 projects like this, and by 2025 there will be plus 5 more. Our task will be to align regional aims with the general goals of each integrational associations. International cooperation and experts. The project will also be discussed at our forum. For many years, our university has been doing these projects. there are many scientists and students are involved in it, and businessmen, and through the increasing the cooperation and preparation of highly qualified staff together with the center of the government of the St. Petersburg and Leningrad region with local manufacturing, we got a good access. There are 4 lines of cooperation. There's a non-energetic aspect, of support of industrial experts, support of the agricultural complex production, creating the measures of the developing, including promoting national brand made in Russia, and also developing the platform My Expert, creating foreign structures. We are creating infrastructures in main countries, which allows the Russian Federation also to promote Russian production abroad. It's very important for Russia, and many countries which are among us and online, so we interact very successfully. So today we also discuss a very multi-spectral cooperation of integration, and also ask the participation of the discussion who will participate both today and tomorrow to prepare as the final resolution their own proposals, which will be submitted to the to the Secretariat of the Interparliamentary Assembly of CIS and Eurasian Bank of Development, the Russian Expert Center, and specialized departments. Dear colleagues, our forum had only not a conceptual but practical matter as well, because it's implementing those tasks. We today discuss those issues in terms of science and practice, and I hope that you will participate from your heart, and I wish to all the participants of our forum fascinating discussions and specific proposals based on our meetings. So thanks for your attention. Continue our work. Dear colleagues, I would like to give the floor to Luznikov Alexei Petrovich and Dmitry Arkadyevich, who is the head of the Secretariat of the head of the Interparliamentary Assembly of the CIS countries. Good afternoon. Dear organizers, dear participants of the 12th Forum Eurasian Outlook, I would like to welcome everybody who is here gathered in the Taurida Palace and the headquarters of the CIS countries, and also respectable colleagues who will participate in tomorrow's sessions will dedicated to the issues discussed in St. Petersburg University of Economics. This forum combines different authorities, legal authorities of Eurasian integration, of the Collegium of the Executive Committee, and the representative of key educational establishments, business communities, economist representatives of other organizations, mass media. It's a very important event. Current event is arranged by our important partner, by St. Petersburg University of Economics. For many years, this forum aims to widen the cooperation and also present a good opportunity to share experience and create new links and alliances. This platform is the platform for dialogue, where we can discuss the development, non-raw material export, and the economic cooperation in the framework of the Union State, Russia and Belarus, expansion of BRICS and its impact on Greater Eurasia. These recommendations will be, of course, helpful to develop economic links, connections, and the climate in the regional countries. In this economic and political situation, so the main factors It's the integration, international alliances is very important. Interparliamentary Assembly of CIS is very important, playing good role. We are always open to cooperation between the Eurasian space country, because international cooperation and this it's very important for implementation of the Eurasian projects. I wish all the participants of the forum very successful, well, of course, health and success. Thank you. So, okay, thank you very much. Best regards to you, Arkadьевич. Dear colleagues, today we are meeting in one of the most beautiful cities of the world, is St. Petersburg. I'd like to give the floor to the vice government of our city, Moskalenko Vladimir Nikolaevich. Good afternoon, dear friends. I would like to give the word on behalf of our government, dear friends. I'm very glad to welcome you at the 12th Forum of the Eurasian Economic Outlook or Perspectives. We are combined by the common culture, common aims. 1 year ago, it was even in our city at the meeting of the European Council, there was a declaration of the development up to the year of 2030. It was Eurasian Economic Way. And at the end of December in St. Petersburg, there will be friendly meetings of the leaders of CIS countries and also the meetings of the highest economic council. The increasing of integration process of our countries allows us to overcome global challenges and to move over the way in the sustainable development. St. Petersburg aims to be in the vanguard of these processes. We create joint projects in the branches of high potential. For example, we produce tractors, and also the dressing factory in Kyrgyzia, and also joint work in the pharmaceutical industry. So then the turnover of St. Petersburg has increased up to 10%. Our key trade partners from the CS countries, especially EAEU, the government, Mishustin, the head of the government of Russian Federation, told that the key task we need to promote multifunctional cooperation and so in the Eurasian continent. Together with the integration of our partners, we share best experiences, best practices, and I hope that the decisions which were made at this platform of this Eurasian economic outlook will help to deepen and expand cooperation. I wish you fruitful work, government, Governor of St. Petersburg, Hishikov. Thank you very much. So in this direction, so the Eurasian Economic Commission, we are doing productive work with such integration alliances as ASEAN, BRICS, and SCO. So we are developing the Institute of Governmental Surveyors. They participate. Cuba, Uzbekistan participating, so we are planning to get the observer status for Iran. So the new ways to integration demands the combination of different aspects, which will allow us to improve the quality of the decisions and sustainable development. Forum Eurasian Economic Outlook is one of such an important platform to do the Eurasian integration and also exchange opinions between Eurasian cooperation. I wish sincerely to all participants in the forum successful and fruitful work. Bakirjan Adjurov said goodbye, the chairman of the colleague of Eurasian Commission. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yulia Antonovna. I'll give the welcome remarks of the Ministry of the Energy of the Russian Federation, the head of the CIS countries, the head of the Department of the Russian Federation, Minenergo of the Russian Federation. Thank you very much. To the organizer and the participant of the 12th Eurasian Forum, dear friends, dear colleagues, congratulate you with the opening of this forum. Under the effect of this geopolitical and geo-economical shifts, the conditions of the energetic cooperation, we've got through big transformation. The energetic sphere, however, is of great cooperation partnership because we have our common historical foundation and also healthy cooperation between our countries due to mutual benefit. So our effort is to increase these conditions. The challenges which we have, they help us to cooperate. And of course, we need to activize the cooperation of the industrial standards. Also, we need to intensify joint scientific projects, which are done through this collective of the regions. The big effort of this fuel and energetic complex and the sovereignty is based on the cooperation in technologies and innovations, and they supply with special parts. And also we have the orders on the production base and this also defense industry. And in 2024, participated with Ministry of Energy of Russia, the concept was implemented of the cooperation in the sphere of the energy up to 2035 in this strategy of the CSO countries up to 2030, declaration as to the summary of this of the ministries of the countries. So that will be the basis of the cooperation in the sphere of energy in the Eurasian space. And I hope that this forum will be a good platform for productive discussion where all the participating experts will look from different angles at the prospects on the discussion and this Eurasian space. So the Minister of the Energy, Sergei Svilov. Thank you. I'd like to put the video remarks by Dmitry Volvich, the video remarks, Deputy Minister of Economic Development of Russian Federation. Dear colleagues, dear friends, I'm glad to welcome of this 11th forum of the Eurasian Outlook 2024, and this is a good tradition, the forum at the end of the year. So we are concluding what we have done. We have the plans. I cannot be present offline, but I have the opportunity to welcome you tomorrow and the day of tomorrow. There will be very important events. There will be the head of the cooperation of the CIS of the heads, and then there will be the Council of the Eurasian countries. So our agenda is developing, is strengthening. So we are we are analyzing what we've done, and of course, within those events, we are touching upon the issues which are connected with the further development of the integrational processes, increasing of their effects, how integration and alliances, the center of HS Russia and the CIS, they connect Eurasia and strengthen it, and they safeguard its security and food security and economic security. The key subject, integration in Eurasia, and as a basis of multipolar world. And I'm glad that it's a multifaceted agenda. Now it's a very topical agenda, especially at this stage where a new inter-economical connections is important. And this is also considered during your forum, which is actually deserves its authority and the status of as a key dialogue platforms to discuss this area in this in the region. I'd like to share some moments as to the which results are coming to the end of this year. Which are the key tasks we have at the track of the integration building and in the future, near future? As you know, that the concept of this Great Eurasian Partnership, it was suggested by the President of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, in 2015-2016, when we had a look at this Eurasian space from Lisbon to Vladivostok, but currently through the objective reasons, not depending on us, we, I think we can speak that we are ready to provide the free movement of goods and the capital through all this Eurasian space from Brest to Vladivostok, but then we are open that our integration process could be joined by all countries, all international associations who share our values, and also on the basis of fair cooperation, ready to do that. So our greater Eurasian partnership, it's not just a concept, it's already actually realized geopolitical reality, which has both geographical and legal basis. So it is being formed by the active participation of Russia. Without Russia, it is absurd to do, because it's center of Eurasia, both geographical and logistical, and in terms of colossal stock of human resources and natural resources, without which the economy of Eurasia cannot be thought of and cannot exist. And so the formation of all legal forms of different integration agendas, so the formation of partnerships through alliances, different agreements. So this is the legal framework of Great Eurasian Partnership. We can tell it as a fact already. Our trade and economic links are being developed through the intensification of interaction with those partners who share those ideas and values, which are based in the greater European partnerships, which are resultive for all the participants. For the 9 months of the conference, the GDP of the UAE, so it is 4.1%, and last year the UAE grew 3.8%. So we show sustainable growth. It's more than the average, and even more than the alliance. For example, European Union, we more than European Union growth. They have only 1% growth, but actually they're only doing the reconstruction after the year before. But actually, I'm telling this without any spite. It is just the reality, which demonstrates and actually demonstrates what processes are going on for some participants of this integration projects. Through deeper integration of the Eurasian Union, of course, it is more than in the CIS countries as well, because the economic integrations, the common trade space, and also common technical regulation, and EU is more than CIS. And the real GDP and the European economic EU, it grew by 12.5%, as the GDP in CIS, it grew only by 11%. Our joint trade, the turnover with CIS over 3 years grew by 24% of the many billions of dollars of USD. Also, it grew by 12.3%. So the growth of trading, it's not a post-COVID jump. It is the sustainable trend, which is based on these mechanisms which are in the foundation of this our union. As to the inclusiveness of this our Eurasian space, as a reality, we suggest involvement on all stakeholders in the all world economies, and the interaction on the condition of mutual benefit, on a fair trade, respect of sovereignty, of the respect to international rules and norms. I think it's very important, because every country in the world knows that for Russia it's not empty words. For those who are ready to cooperate, they are, of course, welcome, and they will find in us a reliable and fair partner. As we are Russian Federation, and our economy is actually strengthening through this EU and CIS. We have a unique competitive edge as a historical, geographical character and economical character of all the partners which are part of this. So the principle of inclusivity has the inner integration formats. Actually, they're intertwined, and the experience of our countries is unique. So we are developing several tracks of the international cooperation. For example, as a union state between Russia and Belarus. Here, of course, the depth of our integration and the success of an implementation of our union treaty allows us to unify the regulations in all activities, and especially in the economic and also social area and other industries which affect the market of our integrational alliance and the standards of life of the citizens of the union state, and also the combination of the systems of authorities which give us of the good economic effects. Within the framework of our Eurasian economic union, so we do the economic relations which are very important for free trade turnover and HR knowledge turnover, because now we do preconditions for gaining education for those who just graduates, for youth. It's one of the values and principles and achievements of our Eurasian Economic Union. So we are actually going on the track of the CIS. We have specifics there and the legal leverage which are not involved in the UAEU, but here we can additionally use it and it's an additional track we can use and the Eurasian Economic Union. So as an example, I can give that in the CIS last year, we created International Organization for Russian Language by the initiative of the Republic of Kazakhstan. It was supported by the heads of other states of the CIS, and currently this International Organization of the Russian language is formed. Now the key organs, executive organs are actually being formed. Now we'll have an international organization which will be responsible for development of the modern practice of the Russian language in all Eurasian space, and maybe in the world, and also as to the Eurasian economic space as the common market and the common economic space, that the CIS is a great zone of economic trade. Since last year, we've got the Treaty of the Free Trade. It's an achievement of the last decade, and this talks they finished with the union agreement. More than 280 million people. It's a great market. It's very interesting for the cooperation with the external participants of the economic activities, be it separate countries or alliances. Then the next CIS project at the implementation of unified regulatory practices, which been implemented and functioning in the such things that EU and the legal framework we've got also for that. Currently, the CIS, we are doing the working at the veterinary certificates and other permissive documents. And we think that we can use this all the best practice in the regulatory of the EU. And now currently we are working to expand technical requirements and the rules in the area of the sanitary and phytosanitary measures. Now we are developing cooperation with the countries of BRICS, with the country with CSO. You remember that Russia is the full-fledged member of those integration BRICS countries. Their main partners, economic partners for EAEU. So Russia is a partner of BRICS. It's our but as to the CIS and also to the European, to the Eurasian economic space. So it's one of the key economic partners. The expansion of BRICS, which we are witnessing, is very important in the context of the implementation of Southern global management and promoting of the positive agenda and developing the approach not to accept the restrictions. And we are thinking there's a possibility for our countries and the partners in the CIS and others, and we have this flexibility to provide the access to other markets and provide the integration and the cooperation networks with the CSO partners. For the last 2 years, we see also increase in new countries. Belarus and Iran are also new members, and they're trying to formulate new dialogues and as to the production cooperation, implementation of the security of investments, and all the CSO improvement. We are also cooperation to improve investments. And so we decided to create the association of the investors, technoparks, and all the economics of CSO countries, and improve its cooperation. Also, the next is economic free trade zones. That's what we are doing, which is based on the legal framework of the Eurasian Economic Unions. EU is doing with it has got agreement with Serbia, Singapore, Iran, and with Iran, this treaty will be next year on the on the permanent basis, and I would say that for Iran it is a unique experience, and I think that we've got a very reliable trade partner, and I hope that this year there will be the solution. It will be and official observer of the EA-EU. So we have concluded the agreement with Mongolia, and I hope that by the end of the year we are going to sign it. At the concluding stage, also the free trade with the Arab Emirates. We are also in talks with Indonesia. There is a high economic council with India. They're doing the talks, and we are active. We are in a good progress of this works. And I think of the issues of our mutual interest. They are, and I hope that we will come to the key trade partner, such as the Republic of India. There are other formats of cooperations which has a different speed integration. For example, the status of state observer as the initial stage as a new level of cooperation. For example, the status of the official observer is the Cuba, Uzbekistan, and I think that also Iran will also have the status of the observer in the EA-EU, and all this integration framework we are considering as the complementary elements of this partnership. At the current state, we are trying to involve all the integration potential, not only ours, but also the skills and experience which are around the world. So we are studying the international experience. We are trying to implement best practices on our integration platforms. We are forming sustainable links between all the stakeholders and the regions of the whole world on the basis of the forming the greater Eurasian space. So this is the task. So the idea of the greater Eurasian, it's a long-term trend on the implementation of which we've been working for a long time, and also we've got many things to do. That's in terms of the cooperation of the bilateral cooperations, and also as to the intergovernmental organization in the region and around the world. So we need to build the key platform with the players of the integrations. We are also thinking about the joining of new partnerships and also other formats for comfortable for the cooperation of our partners. Currently, we are also working a cooperation agreement with the flexible partners in such areas as transport and logistics. For example, the acceptable documents should be accepted. Also, multimodal logistic chains should also be agreed and aligned. As to the tariff regulations, they also should be aligned. We need to share common approaches between the countries who are connected energetic in this area of energy and geographically. Also, as to the supplies of Eurasia to the external market of the energy, on the system approach will help to do the integration, which will allow us to name this EU Union as the focal point of the Eurasian space. And I hope that during today's discussion, you'll see new opportunities to develop the integration process of the Eurasian space, joint finding of common solutions, and also this new Eurasian projects will be the new basis where we will build a new architecture of these connections. That's why I sincerely wish the participants of the forum fruitful discussions and tangible results. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this very detailed report and remarks. And we actually, on the platform of CIS countries, we regularly meet and he's doing great job, both himself and his team, and also many integrational processes are doing so well. Elena Garbashko, I would like her to give the welcome announced by Dmitry Zverev, State Secretary or Deputy Minister of Transport of the Russian Federation. Esteemed colleagues and guests from the Ministry of the Transport of the Russian Federation, I'll welcome the organizers and participants of the 12th forum. This forum is a traditional platform to exchange experience and process an opinion from different organizations of the business circles and leading economic educational establishments. Now in the current situation, the subject of our forum as the basis of the new multipolar world is very topical. I'm convinced that the discussion of this forum will be at a higher level, and the result will allow us to develop practical proposals which will provide interactions and a space on the greater Eurasia. I wish everybody to Deputy Minister Deputy Minister of the Transport in the Russian Federation. Also, I would like to welcome remarks from Viktor Sadovnichev, Rector, from the Eurasian Associations of the from the university named after Lomonosov. I heartily welcome the organizer for the 12th Forum, Eurasian Economic Outlook. In the center of our forum, the outcomes of the 2024 EU year, so the Union State and the BRICS countries, and the first development of this space of the Greater Eurasia. Considering the highest importance of the aims and the scale of the forum, so let me express my gratitude to the to Rector of the to Igor Maximtsev, and also the chairperson of the State University of Economics for his fruitful work for the organizing and arranging of this forum. The president of the Rector of State University of Russia, Viktor Sadovnichev. Thank you very much. And the concluding remarks, Sergei Lebedev, the chairman of the Executive Committee, the Executive Secretary of CIS. On behalf of the CIS, I would like to my heartful welcome to our forum. So for the last time, this forum is the reputable platform for the cooperation and in the business cooperation. This year, it is devoted to the prospects of integration. Also, taking into consideration the challenges, it's very important to understand that CS in the center of this process. For more than 30 years, these principles are still topical, and they still meet their interest, and also demonstrate, which is very important. The priority of CIS is economics. So the CIS has great potential for further development, is increasing cooperation with other international organizations at the Eurasian Greater Eurasian space. I think that by joining our efforts, we'll develop our cooperations, which will meet the realities of our time and provide the basis for the improving of the welcome. The chairman of the Executive Committee, Sergei Lebedev. Thank you very much, Elena Anatolievna. Dear colleagues, we are continuing our work. Before going to the reports of our plenary part, well, I'm doing a very pleasant mission today. Ms. Lebegan-Briz-Zulu, the chairwoman of the Lebegan-Zulu, she's celebrating her birthday. I would like to congratulate her from all of us. Thank you very much for your very fascinating remarks, Ms. Lebegant Zulu. We are continuing our work. So, Fyodor Chernitsyn, a deputy head of the Secretariat of the Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, A.L. Averchuk also. Good afternoon, dear participants of the forum. I would like to express my gratitude to the heads of the St. Petersburg University of Economics, Administration of St. Petersburg, and all those who are here found the time to be here to arrange such an event and to be here so that we can share our opinions as to the Eurasian integration, so which for the last years grew from the specific interest, so which was not studied, not even in all the higher education establishments. I do not say even about other countries. Now it has become mainstream. It is a domineering agenda of the social discussions both in our countries and both in the Eurasian space. Thank you very much that you point attention to this, that you're ready to hear and to listen. The proposal also expresses your vision, how this project is going to be developed later. Our topic, Eurasian interaction within the Eurasian greater space at the basis of multipolar world. It also demonstrate not only the gist of the processes but also their history and the vision of the future. What I mean is that we are speaking about the multipolar world when we say something as the avalanche, something new which is shifting the previous one. But if you look at the history of our country, if you look at the history of the civilizations in the whole, we understand that multipolar actually it is the return of the humankind to its natural state. As to the ages, not the thousands of years, the human civilizations was actually in the multipolar state. So if you look at the map of the world, before the epoch of colonization, we looked at the African continent, where the civilization actually came from. We see that the South African region, when the civilization was not even one, that's where the civilization come from. Also South America, India, China, Arab world, and of course the civilization process of the northern Eurasia, where the Slavic, Turk and Finno-Ugrian people lived, the people of Caucasus, and the world was multipolar for ages. Actually, for the last several ages, we lived in the epoch as the epoch of colonization. Well, I can say that if you look at India, the share of India before the British came there, it was 23% in the world economy. When the British left, the share dropped to 4%. You see? So actually, the Newton. So and the it was actually soft. Actually, it was soft. The word came from Hindi, because for the youngster of India, when they came to when they went to to the Indian colonies, that means that they came as a rich man, and actually it has been for centuries when the British actually got enriched through India. But now we can see that not only in Eurasia, but everywhere else, people are freeing themselves from this colonization thought, for mentality. And here, beyond this colonization, we see another model of interaction between countries, and this is called integration. Integration is the formation of the whole from the parts which are able to form this union. And the example of such an integration process is of course, is Russia. Russian Federation is the example of it, because we, since the time it's been founded, has been developed as the integration formation of the peoples of Northern Eurasia, which were formed by different people living in different climatic zones. So nomads, the people of field, Slavic, of the steppe, Turkish people, Finno-Ugarians, the people of foreigns, and the Caucasian people, the people of mountains. Now that I mentioned the Caucasus, I can say that in the European EU, when we mentioned in the welcoming remarks, the chairperson is under Republic of Armenia. And Armenia can be considered as the initiator of the integration model, because the current Republic of Armenia, when it was even 6th or 7th age before Christ, it was the state of Urartu, and the model of interaction between Skiffs and Urartu in the 6th age BC. So it was 2.5 thousand of years. Actually, it built the foundation for the future integration and friendly cooperation of the peoples on our space. That's what we call the European integration. So, and this logic, Russia also developed, and the outcome of it is that we have more than 200 nationalities living in our countries. The result is CIS and also Russia, the BRICS model, which is being implemented now. Actually, this is the illustrative demonstration what is the integration model of the international communication. So to see the difference, we can certainly show the example, because Eurasian space, especially in the south, actually it is divided by these two models, integration and colonization model, and some of the peoples are in the area of the integration model, and the other part is in the colonization model. So if you look at the capital of the Central Asian countries, which are conditionally speaking, were related to Russia and were related to Great Britain, or compare the standards of living, development of infrastructure, development of education, social services, development of society and societal technologies, so that we can see the difference in these models. So currently now the multipolar world can be considered as the return to the naturality of the humanity. And this Russia is very comfortable, because it's very natural for Russia. So we are already in this integration cooperation. That's why when we're creating EAEU, the foundation of us is 2014. So one country, one voice. That is the principle. So, and we remember that the European Union said, well, are you going to do that? How is it possible that Russia, with such a small economy, with such economy, could be equal to other countries with the small economies? Is that possible? But now we're witnessing the facts. Nobody can argue that, because on everyday basis, so those who were in the Eurasian commissions, the members of the business, yes, this model is being implemented. No pressure at all. All these solutions are being implemented by consensus as to the Council of the Eurasian Commission. I do not mention even other high levels. So now, the integration cooperation. So what does it mean in the modern world? Well, of course, when the Soviet Union collapsed, well, actually, it helps to the Professor Georgy Vernadsky's theory as to Eurasian sovereignty going through cycles, unity and also the fractured state. There were several months. Then the sovereign states of these Eurasian countries of the northern Eurasia, they understood that without development of economic connections, nobody individually will go. So that the CIS was actually formed. And before it was mentioned to be the separation mechanism, no, the devotion, but no, now it is the universal platform of all discussions and all these economic and humanitarian discussions. Then later we came to the State of Union, two countries with the sharing common border, with the sharing ethnos. We have reached the deepest level of integrations on the basis of the State Union. We are in terms of Russian Federation and Belarusia. And here we've got the gist between the unions. It is the EU 29th of May 2014 in Astana, Kazakhstan. It was signed, and then and now it has been a decade that we celebration of this treaty of CIS when it was created, EU. So actually the union, we have four freedoms: the freedom of movement, of human resources, of capital. In EU, this space has been created that the knowledge can move freely, goods can move freely, all economies has preferences. The key is that what is unifying us. We have a free market. It's about 200 million people, so that's the capacity, which has resources, energy, workforce, and what we call in the Western geopolitics as the depth. So we have special conditions for our suppliers and our customers, and now we are joining the lines of the further cooperation. Last year, Russian Federation was under chairmanship of this organization. At the end of this term, we prepared the declaration for further declaration of these processes up to 2030 and even 2045, which was as under proposal of our Kazakhstan president. It was Eurasian economic way. So actually the declaration was signed here in December 2023 at the highest level. So at the heads of the EU, of the actually heads of states. And so we actually had the strategic vision of far-sight vision. So we are going to lead our integration project. So we've got the aim by 2045 transform EU as a self-fledged, independent, developed, and attractive for everybody micro-region, which will has economic and intellectual leadership, which supports a high level of the state of all member states. So this decomposed to several tasks. First of all, to provide common market with key goods and resources, especially that we are joining efforts and and economic and food security, forming general sharing space and cooperation and technological cooperation, forming joint logistics, joint financial markets, the development of the cooperation and the areas of integration of potential, as well as functional of EAEU as the center of the attraction at the world arena. So that's what we are doing among all the members and the business communities. Well, the key tasks at the level there, of course, in the transport and logistic area. And here's the turning point: is that our country is not the east of Europe, but the north of Eurasia, and transport corridor south north. So with EAU, South Eurasia all involved. It is not a modern transport and logistic area. It is a trade way connecting and adjoining countries and economies and civilizations. So this is the demonstrative example that what is the implementation of the integration model of the inter-country and inter-civilizations communications. So currently we have implemented already 3 lines of this corridor through Dagestan, Azerbaijan, then Iran. So in Iran ports going to Indian Ocean, then Caspian way through Caspian, the eastern way through Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, also going through Iran. Besides that, we are actually cooperating with Mongolia, implementing economic way, Mongolia, China, also working with China. In 2018, EAU signed a comprehensive treaty of cooperation with this country, and we concluded memorandum on the development of the transportation communication, Belarus, Russian, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. And actually, we are doing a seamless space through one ocean to another ocean. And actually, Russia, you understand, it's a land ocean. It's which we are developing transport system. Actually, the south is going to the north, and south and north are also integrated. The key message the members are trying to get across to each other is that we are all for the cooperation, not for enmity, not the. So this model adjoining forces, that's what is important. The aligning of forces, that's what we are working at. Our ways is should be done like that. So my head, Alexei Everchuk, also paid visits to Pakistan and to Afghanistan, and the governments of those countries, they're very much interested and they're very actively participation, not only in the transport corridors, which I mentioned before, but also in involvement of their peoples and the technological cooperation, as the creation of technological alliances, joint production. Here we witness all the points of the added value, and this is of course affecting the whole world. Now Dmitry Volevich already mentioned his remarks that Iran, we signed a treaty with Iran about the free trade since 2025 will be in force. In December this year in St. Petersburg, on the sidelines of meetings of the high economic cooperation, will sign the treaty with Mongolia about the free trade. So also in talks with India, in talks with Indonesia. Recently we finished talks with Arab Emirates as to economic cooperation. Preferential mode will cover 90% of the mutual trade and 80% of the trade nomenclature. So that's our prospects. So we have several lines of the Eurasian cooperations. We have the sovereignty in Russia. We have the Union State of Russia and Belarus, EAU, CIS, and then we are adjoining northern and southern Eurasia in the framework of greater Eurasian space and the greater lines of communication in BRICS space. Well, it will not be easy for us. So, notwithstanding all strategic documents, what the government is taking and the partners are taking, the business circles, we should understand that for the further 20, 20 years, we are going to witness a burning soil, because all southern Eurasia is going to be on a fighting point, and it will be difficult to establish those bridges. We'll need to do painstaking job, and we need to do great belief in ourselves. That's why we are involved not only in the issues of the technological economic cooperation. We should not leave humanitarian cooperation, what President of Russia named the fifth freedom, the freedom of knowledge, because economy of knowledge is very important. Economy of data, we think about the value basis of the integration of this, our economics, how we see our history, not what divided, what connects us, and what are the ways we can offer to the countries which are actually being attracted to the Russian integration union, which is actually the pole of atrocities. Ms. Zulu, Lebagan Zulu, I think she was absolutely right. She says, yes, we have everything. We have technologies, we have resources, we have intellects, we have people. In this space where we are where we're living, and also in Eurasia, we have all the necessary capacity, potential, so that we can implement all the strategic goals. Further, I'm very sorry. To conclude my remarks, I would like to share and recommend you to get further insights. Under the edition there's a book I've reviewed, Eurasian Vision of the Common Things. You can download it if you go to some search engine. You can download this. There's there's a team of authors, the contributors, who gave their proposals of their outlook of for the peoples of Eurasia, what connects us economical and cultural, and what will be the image of the future at which macro region we are going to build. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your good paper, good information. I think that will help us to further on. Now I'd like to give the floor to Sarkisyan, Tigran Sarkisyan, Deputy Chairman of the Management Board of the Eurasia Development Bank, Supervisor of the Digital Initiative, and a friend who is a graduate of the St. Petersburg University, Eurasian Integration and Institutes of Development. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude for inviting and giving me the opportunity to tell that at this traditional forum, Eurasian Economic Outlook. This forum has been held for 12 times. So the title of our forum means that the humankind entering the epoch of new multipolar world, based on, among others, there's integration and cooperation on our continent. In my speech, I'd like to treat this issue from the methodological point of view, so that we can consider the fundamental subject. We need to go into details as to how, as a whole, something appears in the global economy, what can be considered new in our new epoch. The experience of, for many years, on immediate participation in the processes of the economic life on the Eurasian space led me to the following opinion. The development of the humankind, of human society, is the continuous process of complication. during the permanent deepening and dividing of the labor. So that is how it is treated. It's a methodological formulation of the Moscow methodological circle, which is actually founded by the works in Sidorsky, Georgy Petrovich, one of the founding father of this movement in Russia. So the development of this of the humankind is the permanent process of complication. The complication can be defined as a process of the appearance of new kinds of competences, as well as new forms and connections of interrelations between people and institutes. So, including under the effect of geopolitical changes. So, at every stage of cooperation, we have a quality transformation resulting in the appearance of new forms and new kinds of cooperation. The appearance of new forms is the objective reaction to the complication. Then the objective reaction to the new forms as the formulations of new senses, terms, and even institutes, defining and allowing to govern new reality, so which is appearing around us. So any perfect system of management actually loses its topicality and becoming an adequate new reality. So those terms and senses which were customers, they lose their previous meaning, and they should be changed for new, more applicable terms. So that also touches the integration processes we are talking about. So those instruments are the creations of new institute and institutes we are providing the effective management of the changed reality. So it is necessary because the process of deepening of the dividing of the labor and complication of the social relations leading to the creations of a more complicated system of management. Now let us make a pause and try to use this towards our integration space. So we defined the demand requirements of our countries as the deepening of the economic cooperation. To provide this, we create a new institute, so functioning at a more complex level, so which were before. I speak about the Eurasian Economic Commission, which was created in 2012. So please point attention that Eurasian Economic Commission was instituted before signing the Treaty on Eurasian Union. Actually precipitating it. So before a new institute was created, so the task which was the forming of the legal and administrative basis for new processes, so which were in our space. So such an approach was reasonable and provided sustainability of the created institution, the effectiveness of which, and the effectiveness was demonstrated at the background of unprecedented turbulence at the global market and the employment of instruments under the sanctions. Through the creation of more complicated institutions, we managed to regulate new processes and minimize risks and threats. So also we can observe other experience when already the established institute create barriers for appearing and new ones. For example, So before our integration alliances, by the president of the countries, they set the task to create by 2025 union financial market there, which should be managed by the financial mega regulator, but such an institute hasn't been yet created. As a result, we are still on the edge on the 2025, but the task of creating the new financial market hasn't been implemented yet. So if we, as to the Eurasian economic market, had probably followed the way of the creation of a national institute, for example, financial mega regulator, then we would have, the result would have been another one. And before our countries, we would have witnessed new outlook and a new stability in financial markets, so also in a new challenging conditions. So actually that's what we missed. So what lesson can be taken from that? So what I've just mentioned. Well, so we should react to the changes in due time and actually foreseeing them, proactively creating new senses and institute of the cooperation of the interaction between people and speak about us between economies of the countries. Currently, we're in a new circle of development, both in terms of the world economies and our integration space. Evidently, we need to think about improving the instrument of the integration management, including taking into consideration its increased scale. Countries of our continent, in accordance with all the physics about the complication of the cooperation, currently has formed a great number of and different lines of economic and political associations. For example, CSO, ASEAN, Turkish organization, BRICS, the necessity of joining of these initiatives harmonically show us the requirement to develop new formats of cooperation and the participation of those countries. Also, we can speak about the creation of new institutes which can provide cooperation, taking into consideration national interests of our countries. For example, the creation of fund of the digital initiatives with the Bank of the Development, which can be assessed as a progressive state aimed at the implementation of digital identity of the Union. The foundation actually improved its effectiveness due to support by the countries of the digital platforms. Has been also shareholders also focus on it. This year we can state that the portfolio of the fund doubled. As we said about the process are being complicated, now it makes sense that the management of this Eurasian integration should be treated in a non-standard way, and maybe unexpected way. So to move forward our integration project, we need to find the subject interested in its existence and the development. At the same time, we need to understand how it should be. It could be the transportation and logistics, then secondly energy. As a whole, companies involved with infrastructure common for our countries. In terms of Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, and Belarus, such subjects could be exporters of food and also consumer goods interested in the access to our markets. But it's not all. Let's focus on the services industry, and especially on our creative industry and entertainment industry as well. I think that actually those countries, those industries, they join our countries. Our common song, cereals, sports authorities, VIP persons, so they're not only well known among our countries, they are the focus of integration themselves. So what I mean is that this potential should be open and should be employed. How? Well, we should create the Club of Friends of Eurasian Integration, which actually can combine those people who are actually the symbols of the Eurasian integration. And so I would like to draw attention to that, so that the creation of new forms of institutes of the management is the objective reaction to the complication of the processes which are going in the world, including in the Eurasian integration, that requires from us demonstrate flexibility, inventiveness, creativeness, and of course, proactiveness in the issues of the management of the integration processes. To conclude, I would like to underscore one thesis: to greater erasure, demonstrate greater understanding, and take into consideration of mutual interests, especially in terms of security. The specifics of current moment is that the companies taking participation about the development, they are not only taking consideration the economic effectiveness, but also the security. And this is the condition of forming multipolar world with the destructiveness of the global destructiveness of the global security. It's changing the logics of the international divisiveness divide of labor, because we have unexpected situations, and the caused by geopolitical regions. They complicate our life, also affected by scientific, in the conditions of the new technical scientific progress. The effectiveness of the management of the social development is in the first place. We should not wait while it's going to be quiet. Tomorrow is going to be more complicated, more unexpected than today. So our conclusions: in the current condition, the development could be only on a project basis. What used to be done when they did this, the project of the forming of the Eurasian Economic Commission. It is today that we have to draw main conclusions and learn on our mistakes and form new institute of Eurasian integration. Thank you very much for your attention. Tigran Tigrovich, thank you very much. The ideas were very good. So, especially the creating the friends, the Club of Friends of the Eurasian integration. Actually, our university actually is building this cooperation based on these principles. Those people who are working with us in the economic integration and the scientific research, educational process, actually they are the friends of the university. That's why, thank you. But if we can do this in the expanded format, I think it will be very productive and very useful. Besides that, I would like to also mention very important that the economic effectiveness in the framework of integration cooperation and the creation of multipolar world, it is more important as also the security. That's what we need to focus on. That's why those aspects which were mentioned in the speech, we should point more attention and then develop within the framework of our cooperation. Thank you very much. Well, taking into consideration that we have a very tense schedule in our first part, now I will give the floor to the video remarks to the Pankin Alexandro, Deputy Minister of the Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. And another speaker will be also online. Thank you very much. I'm giving the floor to Alexander Pankin, Deputy Minister of the Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. Can you please switch on?
Рад приветствовать организаторов.
So I'm very glad to welcome the organizer and the participants of the 12th Forum of the Eurasian Economic Pacific. In the current situation of the geopolitical tension, so this fragmentation of the connections and also expansions of the restriction functions against specific countries to isolate them, and the further cooperation with the constructive partners is a very important and logical way from the current situation. So the countries and the integration processes are forming the new framework of new multipolar world based on the fairness and also following the norms of the international law, take consideration of all interest and mutual interest and dialogue. In this context, traditionally the Great Eurasia region is very important with such with EU, CIS, State of Unions, SCO, ASEAN, and of course Russian Federation is taking all measures to develop multipolar cooperations through all these organizations, two of them celebrated their anniversaries. For example, the 8th of December, 25 years has been celebrated, so this creation of the State of Union, so which focused on the course of the development and good of our countries. So we've done a great way in the cooperation economically, digitally, also in other areas, and also in the external foreign policies at this platform. So, and this State of Union experience can be put on the basis of other institutions for Eurasian institutions. It will help the resultfulness of our work on this formats, and will provide the strengthening of the security on the all space of the Eurasia. And economic security is very important. Eurasian Economic Union marked 10 years, a decade, since the key treaty was signed on 29th of May 2014. Since then, the countries has moved in the internal market creation, also in this customs space, tariff regulation, development of energy, industrial cooperation, digitization. So as a result of this, as the entering to the market of the goods to the market, seamless transport corridors, and independent on financial infrastructure, increasing the transactions in countries' currencies, and stimulation of own production and export potential. So the experience of the Union was attractive for external partners which want to establish a dialogue with our formation. Currently, so in EAEU, we signed cooperation with Vietnam, Serbia, Vietnam, and two also agreements with China. At the final stage with Mongolia, Mongolia, Indonesia, and Arab Emirates, EU Commission more than 80 memorandums of cooperation with third countries has been done, including CIS, CSO, ASEAN, other 3 countries, Moldova, Cuba, and Uzbekistan, had the status of the observer member state at CIS, and also the wish to join. Iran also interested in being a member observer. The significant partner for this as BRICS, where Russia is the holding chairmanship this year. We are interested in developing cooperation because BRICS currently as a global management partner forming the wider area of cooperation in all the regions. Many countries are interested in discussions of BRICS. So in the reforming global architecture, focusing on the representative of the developing countries, both and the trade and the economic processes. So in this context, we are working actually in such topical issues, providing food and industrial security, so battling the changes of the economy, also the chain of logistics. It's also important that dialogues of EAU BRICS, which should be practical, as we have already in the Eurasian Bank of Development and the new Bank of Development BRICS. So the cooperation between these structures as a basis of the creating the framework of greater Eurasian partnership, and its aim to create the cooperation links within the region. Among the practical tools, we have the development of the transport logistical and also the expansion of the free trade zone and the financial instruments. I express gratitude to the team of the State University of Economics as to the work that they've done to organize this forum, and I'm sure their forthcoming discussion will make a greater input into the development of the future development processes and their proposals, so which were set, so will do the good input in the agenda. I wish you great success and fruitful work. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Alexander Anatolievich. And now the next speaker, I understand, so we have a very tense schedule. Please, I would like Shevtsov to do later. Now the deputy. About this now, the online, now to be Pavel Shevtsov, Deputy Head of the Federal Agency for SAS, Compatriots Living Abroad, International Humanitarian Cooperation. Colleagues, so there was a request from Pavel Shevtsov. Sorry, we don't have him online. Well, actually, we are moving to the next speech. So Vladimir Padalka, Vice President of the Chamber of the Commerce and the Industry of the Russian Federation, about the works of the Business Council in 2024. And I would I would like please follow the schedule, 10 minutes. Welcome, dear colleagues. I will try to shorten my speech so that I will dwell on practical things. What is the British Council BRICS, and how we are doing practical in this regard. When you know that in the year of our chairmanship, we started that actually we are like 9 countries, so we are joined by, when we speak about the BRICS, well, it's in general, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. So it was done as a geography of BRICS. The addition by Egypt and Ethiopia actually we have a balanced added a balance in Africa. Iran and Saudi Arabia, they actually included this Middle East. So Saudi Arabia currently actually they're not integrated yet, but we hope that our colleagues will join later. So by the 1st January of this year, we developed our work, understanding that currently we have 45% of the global population, BRICS countries already producing about 37% of GDP, and by 2050, BRICS countries will play a key role affecting the whole business model world. Russian Federation in 2023, the turnover more than $200 billion. In January and June, the growth of the turnover between BRICS countries and Russia grew by 13.6%. As to the British Business Council, I'll now show the slides. In 2013, the heads of our states decided to create the Business Council and delegated through 5 companies from each country to be the partners of this Business Council. From the Russian side, the Business Council contained Rostech, RZD, International Bank, and Trade Commercial Chamber. Well, here, so we are all experts. I will not dwell on the reasons why this particular companies entered the membership of this British Council. I can say that Russian parts actually are open. The doors are open for all participants of the Russian Federation, but they should be recommended by those companies already members of this institution. Currently, the priority tasks, we have 8 working groups, and the priority tasks of the Business Council as the infrastructure and transport logistics. So this is headed by RZD, Russian Railways, Financial Services, RFP, Production, Cooperation, Aviation, by Rostex, Digital Economy by Sberbank, Energy and Green Economy and Climate, MCLUS, and Interbank Cooperation, Web RF, Agriculture, Rosagra, and professional training of the human resource work skills. It's the national part of Russian part, and also ASI, Agency of Strategic Initiatives. So all these work teams, their collective actors, 25 up to 50 people in them, so they work 24/7. Monthly there are held teleconferences, and actually they develop agenda, they present to institutional commissions where they hold at the level of the ministries and levels. So as a result, by the end of the year, we are coming to the creation of the common report, which has been aligned with all national parts, and this report is presented at the final session of BRICS, which the chairmans which moving from one to other. This year is the Russian chairmanship year. As to the business part, more than 100 events has been held, and the key of them is the session of the British Council and many other events which were held on the sidelines, both in Moscow and Kazan and other countries. Altogether, more than 40 recommendations has been developed to the governments of the Union, which were based so at the annual report of BRICS. The report itself, the annual report, was presented to the heads of the countries at the summit in Kazan. It was improved, and we expect that based on those recommendations by business, so we'll soon witness the directions and the resolutions of the heads of countries to which they were submitted. For example, a Women's Business Alliance, which is represented currently by Ms. Zulu from South Africa, actually is a part of the Business Council. Our women here also represent, they're responsible for social sector, for childhood, for motherhood, for creativity, so these kind of areas. This year, we have actually conducted concluding events, and on the 1st of January, we are giving all the responsibilities and the transitions to Brazil, and we expect to Brazil. And since the 1st of January, we are following the agenda formed by Brazil. And I think by the mid-year in July, there will be a next summit in Brazil, and the city itself is to be understood, and will promote our agenda. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vladimir Ivanovich. It was a very interesting report. It was drawn, and there was a continuity, what was in 2024, as to the Business Council risk. But actually, it was added by new topical initiatives by the request from business. There are many of them according to the current situation, economical, political, and so on, so which were functional. So, for example, green economy, energy, and also the logistical specifics. Thank you very much. I recommend everybody to get familiarized with this report and with the work of the British Council. Thank you very much. Now I'm giving the word to Pavel Shevtsov, the Deputy Head of the Federal Agency for the CIS, Compatriots Living Abroad and International Humanitarian Cooperation. Oh, сотрудничество in short. Pavel Anatolis, yes, we can see you. Yes. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, you can be heard and seen. I'm glad to join your forum, dear colleagues. Thank you very much for inviting to participate in this fascinating discussion. And here I would like to, Vladimir Ivanovich mentioned BRICS part, the component, BRICS component. Here, as to the foreign politics and the humanitarian cooperation, I would like to touch upon this, the concept of the Greater Eurasia, and I would like to express gratitude to the organizers and the universities that you raised this issue, because on the one hand, so we meet a lot and discuss different approaches, different subjects, and also in the community of the people, so which actually involved in the promotion of education, educational space. We understand it's a very challenging task, but in any way, as to the economic aspects which are in the focus of it, because you understand any economy is based on technologies, knowledge is based on science, and anyway in the other, those lines are concentrated both in Russian universities and the universities of other countries, in scientific research institutes and the companies, technological companies, which are in any way those developments, they base on university, on academia, on those resources which are concentrated in the high established institutions. And here we can, we must constantly involve this schooling, and we understand the future scientists, those who will form the future economic cooperation. It is actually input in schools. It is not only subject area. So we should focus on the studying of the Russian language, because many scientific works is depending on which language we are talking about, because the Russian language is actually the language of science. And here also Trudničstvo is making great efforts to form this unified educational space, unified standards, unified approaches and understanding what we are to do, where we are to move. And so we have a quota by the Russian Federation. 30,000 foreign students can come to Russia to study at the leading high establishment institutions of Russia. And if it used to be the task to form the pool, the people who will, after graduating from our universities, will return to the countries and will play lead in the labor market, and will go to other countries and be there the leaders. Here another sense is appearing, and which we are actually training people who are coming back to their countries, will be aimed at forming joint projects with the Russian Federation and with expanded BRICS, Great Eurasian Space, because we understand it is not only important to understand what is happening in your countries, which was in the technology and science. They should also understand which processes are going on in adjoining countries or other countries in India, Russia, Brazil, and some the Gulf monarchies were anyway joining this movement, the BRICS movement, because only based on understanding of the system, of the development of the economical, technological, and economic process in other countries, we can understand where the interests are focused. And it's very important, because now we are saying that our world is becoming multipolar. In a decade, nobody knows what the world is going to be, but it will be another for sure. And as there are so many sanctions had been put on Russia, we are sometimes isolated from some scientific educational processes in North America and Western Europe. And we 3 years ago we had to restructure our activities, technological activities, and we see in many lines actually we have successfully achieved it. Not all the processes going seamlessly as we wanted to do, but anyway we witnessed the formation of a wider field of educational programs and scientific cooperation with the southeastern countries. Indian track is of great success to us. It was we used to consider it only medical cooperation, but now in April of this year in Delhi there was held an exhibition involving 60 universities from the Russian Federation. We see that besides medicine, there are other range of directions which the Indian audience interested in. What is more important is the quality of the contact offered by the Russian Federation, and the interest and the will to be involved in this project. We understand that the project itself, it's not just the starter, but there should be developed. Well, India is actually a somewhat new development, because cooperation with China has been probably more developed, but with India it is a little bit more complicated at the initial stage. But this special military operation actually gave us another impetus to the development, and we treat other regions in a new way now, and we can see new opportunities opening for us, and we understand that it would require great work, transformation, going out of the comfort zone of our educational, technological space, because we understand it's absolutely another mentality. We need to treat, to reconsider our approaches, and we need to do a lot of job. So once more time, I would like to express gratitude to the university for the initiating of this talk. It is only with this dialogue where we are becoming more understandable to each other, to economic cooperation. We need to meet to discuss all this actually analytics, what we witness, because the situation is changing so rapidly. Thank you very much for your attention. I wish you the best, and of course today was a great discussion. I think that we moved further in our mutual understanding of future priorities and the projects which we are to form and create, to promote process. Thank you very much. All the best. Parliament, thanks a lot. I would like to express gratitude from Igor Maximtsev, the director of the universities, for our mutual cooperation, and we hope for the further cooperation in the education scientific area. Well, currently we have a concluding speech, Materian Ivanov Varyevich and Glebach, please. And actually we have a core speech, Materian Varyevich. The dialectics of the cooperation. It is on offline, and Oleg Nikolaevich will join later. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me express gratitude to organizing of the forum for this opportunity to speak. Transformational process of this common world currently as they're transforming the reality. So diagnosis of human civilization as we are in a system crisis to self-destruction, and the planet Earth is in danger. Non-stability of this global system, the global crisis in the first half of the 21st era showed us that these models, with the model developed by Forrester, and also by modern models, they all show that the resource has been exhausted. The changing has touched not only international area, but also all the living areas. This system crisis of the human civilizations, what we are witnessing, the analysis of the megatrends of the current policies confirms the increasing of the danger, because the processes lead to the destabilizations, the provoking, the cascade of different crises which we have, the increased uncertainty, instability, turbulence, and confrontation. Now we have a dismantling of new with old system and the development from the west to the east. So this is mono-central world to the polycentral world. That's what is happening. It's very important we understand which the new world order will be. We need to understand coming to a polycentral world will be very painful, as Dmitry Primakov warned us. This multipolar world does not mean more security. Multipolar world gives us only other things, and so there are the previous forces will battle to conserve their hegemony, they want also to dominate a new world. So the construction of a new world should be based on their security. So that's why Russia with the CIS countries should not waste that. We need to form this new formation by ourselves. We need to find its place by itself, to take initiatives and following the aims. at the basis of the multipolar world will be in the cooperation of the Eurasia. We should start from dialectics, because in the scientific, because this science or universal laws of the thinking and the development will allow us to know the mechanism of development of the society and understand the causes of the development. And so dialectics should be done as the argument, as the foundation of the new formation. Why this cooperation at the Eurasia should be the basis of the formation of new multiple world, and why the Russia should be the center. You see where the center. It's not in China. It is in Siberia. Without understanding, without vision, without the forming the general Eurasia form, we will see the risk of the contradiction and the conflicts. To provide this policy will be controversial, and we understand to build a new integration in Eurasia besides social sciences. It's very important, the sciences of space and other, because it is affected by space development. Let's see the lines of multipolar world. You see the split lines, so they're the continental splits. So we foresee this. This will be a special mode of functioning. The key, we understand what is the main continent. Eurasia is the center of it. So the increasing contradiction will lead to the divide on the world. It will not be seamless. It will be painful. There will be confrontation of interest, focus of strengths. There will be strengths. There will be a battle. So in the new reality, and we understand not only survive but only put the foundations and understands the common laws will change. And what will change in the process of this transformation? Well, first of all, national interest of the USA will be mostly focused on their region, and they will implement they will implement the interest only using resources on their continent, not in Eurasia. For example, in 27.7 trillions, and in China about 37%. So parity of the purchasing power. So GDP is 1%, and the consumption is 46%, and the consumption of this result. So you see the territory about 10 billions, and the consumption is not consistent with that. It's so we understand what is the photosynthesis territory, the second factor of it. From 80 to 90% of the fact is the factor of dollars. Then 10-20% is the military power, culture, information influence. So we understand there's a colossus, and the solution of this, but we need to understand from the principle of seismology to build a new Eurasia based on the two components. So about the science, first of all, interaction and cooperation. Cooperation allows the systems to work together. So, and at the same time they're separate. Integration actually combines the system as a union. That's why we have a symbiotic effect, and that's very important. And there is no hegemony of one system. So each subsystem, each country is interested in the development of other. So due to integration of this Eurasia, it's very important, the scale and synergy. You can see that the Eurasia is the biggest continent as to the classification of United Nations. 48 European countries, 56 and about 54 African countries. So, and other GDPs are different. He gave the numbers, some numbers about this. He's very in a hurry about Africa. So this is not the main point. So Eurasia should not be also considered from the economic demand, but also through the philosophical by Vernadsky, Tsiolkovsky, Russian philosophical school, and Russian cosmism. So as the forecast I'd like to present you. So I would like to get you to the key specialists of the external foreign trade bank, and the share of the GDP and the world says plus will going to be increased. So the conclusion. So at this new consciousness, as the formed new society, so with the psychological society, those countries which will be an autonomous continents will be connected at the planetary level and will be the center of this human civilization. But prior to that, they will be divided. Now we are going to be about the forming of new multiple of world will be later. So Russia, you can see 4 stages and 5 vectors, noosphere, spiritual, social vectors, so on. 4 stages. Inclusive economy, knowledge economy, values economy, and the system of senses and the system of values. One more aspect I would like to touch: biological possibility of the Earth. They've been exhausted. Well, in 1952, so where to get the resources? The resources we cannot use. 40% of biosphere is on the CIS countries. So if we mention for 10 years in Russian Federation, 70 years. So that's the years the resources we can use only. And what is the image of the future of the Russia? I can demonstrate the future image of Russia. Well, I can tell that it's pretty great. Russia is a part of the world. Our strategic mission of Russia is to provide the synthesis of the material and spiritual, cultural and rational, and also mutual cooperation and the Great Eurasia basis. EU, SCO, and others, and BRICS, and other integration alliances to build new security in the multiple world. Eurasia is not an abstract scheme. We need to take consideration on realities. To conclude, I would like to tell the Great Eurasia will be effectively functioning if it is connected with the members will be connected to the cultural educational connections, has transport and logical chains, and also common energy lines and a fair currency and financial systems. Countries of Greater Eurasia should join their efforts, facing the challenges, and we understand that the history showed when we are united, we are unconquerable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Valery Ivanovich. And core speech, Eurasian various speeds. So, Deputy Chairman of Web RF, Chief Economist, Andrei Klepach. So, in short, I will try to, dear colleagues, yes. Actually, speaking about Greater Eurasia, it's very important not to get confused with the numbers. We have a 40% as the purchasing parity, more than half of population, because Greater Eurasia is different in its composition. It has different models of integration, different vectors of development. It's not only a model which we are discussing in Russia, it is linked with Eurasian Economic Union, with greater Eurasian partnerships and other agreements. China is implementing its own model, and through the project of one project, so Turkey is following their projects. Persian Gulf countries, they have only their own vision. This is the continent which is actually a competition of different models of integration, and they do not coincide. We are speaking about the conflicts. Chinese, one wire one bolts is important. We actually do not have actual joint projects. As Russia is reorienting foreign economic activities to the east, we are actually compensating our trading relationship with Western countries by the increase of cooperation with Eurasian countries. But at the same time, our closest partners is the Eurasian Union are increasing cooperation mostly with China. So after Russia and EAS, so this is the key player at this space. Of course, it doesn't mean that there's nothing to unite us, but we need to accept and recognize that we are all different, and sometimes there can be contradictions. And well, currently we haven't been able to create our financial union. There's a Astana platform, but most banks and the structure of the Kazakhstan and other countries, they actually follow the secondary sanctions, you see? Currently, maybe not the unified market of the capital. Maybe you could go through the gold and through the clearing systems. We need to understand this inter-transactions to take into consideration the liquidity of our national currencies. Well, there are lots of things which combine us, but there are different centers of integration. There are different senses of making decisions, and Great Eurasia to consider as the unified symphony orchestra is yet to be concerned. We must see from US, EU, SCO, we should also take into consideration, and I think we can also create the system of joint economic institution and joint programs, whatever the challenges. The wish itself, the will itself is very much needed, and following our shared values, that's what unite us, and that's what provides the sovereignty. China has the concept, well, common countries, common destinies. So that's what they have. But we see Russia as the leading role player because in terms of trust and leadership, we can be followed as an example. Thank you very much. Andrei Nikolaevich, thanks a lot for your speech. It's very interesting. So that's the first part of our plenary session has come to end. Till 16, until 4 p.m. There will be a signing of agreements. Then we'll follow. We'll have 4 more reports in our plenary session. Please come back at 4 p.m. we are starting signing the treaties of cooperation. Now we are signing the agreement of cooperation between St. Petersburg University of Economics and the Women's Business Alliance, BRICS, South of Africa, Vice Rector for International Relations, Dmitry Vasilenko, the signatory from the side of the university, and the chairperson of the Women Business Alliance, South African chapter, Lebagan Zulu. Vasilenko. Now the signing of the agreement of establishment of Joint Research Center of Economic Problems and Union State between Belarusian State University and St. Petersburg State University of Economics. So the signatories of this agreement on cooperation. Colleagues, thank you very much. So the agreements have been signed. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Well, I'm honored to give my speech after short lunch. I hope your mood is improved, a little bit substantiations, but anyway, the issues are in front of us are pretty serious because we are speaking about in terms of Russian role about in the global transformation. What future is before us? Notwithstanding our rich past we can boast of, so we need to look forward to foresee and form the agenda which will be talked about tomorrow. Actually, just yesterday we returned from African continent, but we couldn't miss this particular event. It's very important to form the understanding of what's going on and also to establish new trends. That's why I'm especially pleased to address this youth audience. We can present the census which will be establish our common future. Of course, we speak in terms of multiple world. This is the trend which is given as an alternative to the established unipolar world, and those imposed interests by dominating countries are presented as a key value. Actually, many of us, and we understand there's a domineering position. We understand there's no fairness in this previously established. Okay, now there is another issue. What should the new world order be? And how should we integrate it? Well, we gave floors to many economists and other experts. We understand this integration institution should be built on common values, not on the just global, yes, on the global multitudinous. And I hope that many of you share this opinion. The range of values probably not enough. So the new, fairer world should be built on. Of course, many of are also based on economic interests. They're looking at African countries, Latin Americans, so they see the fast growing population, new resource bases. But when we visit those countries, and Russian Federation actually to better end change this direction. And of course, the African countries do remember the Soviet past, how the Soviet Union put great input, and we understand that the agenda was very different of the Soviet Union, and Russia was different from other participant countries, those Western countries who just uncontrollably exploited those resources without establishing education and countries. But actually, they were actually leaving those countries. They were creating other values. And actually, there was during the theft. Sometimes when we arrive, they present us as European colleagues. So actually, when we are treated as even named as European colleagues, I would not exactly call us European colleagues right now, because you understand that we have turned right in another direction. Yeah, and the integration is a little bit like different. Our colleague developed a lot about dialectics. Yeah, dialectics is that what plays roles, and the Eurasian model is when they treat us just the European, is not like Russia is Eurasia, right? 30% of my time I visit the territory of special military operation, and it's people do not believe that we orient ourselves to the Western countries. No. So we need to return to our historical basis. For many a year, our country has developed based on not individual base or some separate or even financial basis, notwithstanding of the political model or country structure. Many peoples, many nationalities, many religions actually joined peacefully and lived peacefully in Russia. We already represent the Union. We managed in this multi-confessional, multi-national country, we're able to build better future. So, and currently we do have rights to set the trends. And it would be well wrong not to miss this opportunity. Of course, the industrial capacity is mostly focused in China or in India, but we should not forget Russian as well. We know that the center of capital is not in our country, but we need to exploit the historical basis which we have. It gives an opportunity to pretend to strive to create this partnership on the global level. our Western partners, they say, okay, we are world organization. In all organizations, they're world. And they call themselves international, worldwide. But we, ourselves, we are a little bit too shy. Why? Why should we just like look at somebody else and be developed on somebody else? Well, the people we met in Latin America or something, they say, Russia, be the leader. Be also create just not just the Western World Bank. Be this like Russian World Bank or just like BRICS World Bank. So this you should be straight. We should build our approach on new values. Actually, the crisis struck also developed countries. For example, in Arab countries which are which enjoy great fuel realizations, sales income, but they're also actually not satisfied with this. But still, the future world order is not yet identified. As the historical experience, we should also understand and bring everybody to this round world table and have a good voice at this table. Besides expert of security on the field, of course, we'll continue to this because security is the thing, the responsibility of Russia, but we also need to set the agenda, and we have the right for this. I believe that's what I wanted to say. Yes, we already covered economic and social interaction. You know about that, do you call it? Yes, what lies ahead of us is a great potential of growth. Many countries looking up at us, so that will show the new integration model. In 2022, we started the final turn over, the turn to the east, but the pivot to the east. But now our agenda should be new and progressive in the new developed world. Thank you. Thank you a lot, dear colleagues. African Russian Energy Association is a very promising beginning, because Russia has a great experience in energy sector, an energy complex, an organization in this, and it's very important for Africa. Well, in Africa, it is very prospect. The alternative energy resources is very important. For example, construction of solar power station in Africa is the great potential, and scientific base to be developed in Africa as well. It's very important to mention that the new political realia, they set for us new tasks, one of which creation new economic alliances. And here, Africa is of great interest for Russia. And the countries of these countries mostly feel positive about Russia, understand the interaction with Russia. It is very promising for Russia, for the development of our economic cooperation. So thank you, Africa, very much. So this energy sphere is very important, and I hope this energy cooperation will be good. Thank you very much. So we are continuing. Court of Office, Deputy Executive Secretary of CSTO, Parliamentary Assembly, Plenipotentiary Representative of the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation. Please take the floor. So the key idea is to understand. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome from the Secretariat of the Parliament Organization of CSTO. CST and Forum are connected with a sharing history. Not everybody knows, but four first forums were under the chairmanship by Sergei Naryshkin, who actually was the head of the chairperson of the State Duma and the head of the assembly. So all the members of the CSTO, actually the speakers, they all participate in the forum. So it is very good that this State University of Economics in St. Petersburg is developing this initiative, and our cooperation will continue. And one of the key directions of the CSTO is the military and economic cooperation. For 16 years, Military and Economic Commission of CSTO were all vice ministers, including Manturov, are members of this. But I'm not going to represent as a representative of the CSTO, but as the head of the Department of the International Relations of the State University of Russia, named after Lomonosov, and present some issues to you which are discussable. The project Greater Eurasia is joined by BRICS. Well, leaders countries, both they and India and Russia, India and China, and we need to build a fair multipolar world. Multipolar of common world understands that it's, we're going away from the G7. So this domineering is what is sustained by. It's based on, because some of the countries, they transform their sovereignty to international mega regulators, international monetary fraud, to the federal monetary federal system of the USA, and also there were regional alliances, the European Union and NATO. So the partnership of which also leads to the loss of the national sovereignty and domineering of the USA. So together with this domineering in the current conditions is a great contradiction with the economic and political and military transition with the new leaders in the world. The terms of Russia and China, they're trying to get at least some packet in the international military fund. So now international military fund Russian resources are put against Russia in the special military operation, and there is no alternative to these international funds. So in the Kazan Declaration of BRICS by 2024, so Bretton Woods system should be reformed, and the new quotas and the international military funds, these quotas should be given to developing countries. So the same approach as the Kazan Declaration, so the World Trade Organization should be addressed to. So we should develop the interest of developing countries. So BRICS countries need to go away from the domineering of these Western countries and strengthening the union with the countries of South America, Asia, Africa, and need to form the force against the Western forces. Currently, of course, they're applying unlawful sanctions against Russia and other independent states. That's why CSO and BRICS countries, they appeal to international mega regulators to develop new global institutions such as new bank development, Asian Bank of Investments. So one way on put, so that will be depository infrastructures and some insurance company, and should also promote investment in national currencies. President Trump they say that he says that there will be sanctions against for those who go to de-dollarizations, but we do need to create alternative to dollars instruments. We do not go like over G7. We do not want to be domineering. We don't want Russia and China domineer somewhere. No, there should be like three main forces: West, BRICS, and developing countries. It is only in this world that the countries over the world will develop and re-establish their sovereignty, and they have a choice. So which regulators will follow? So national, international, like that. So this process is in line with the project Greater Eurasia, so which is the integration of the greatest continent. Usually projects is led by Anglo-Saxons. Look at the works by Dzerzhinsky, Common Eurasian Integration, and not about the general Eurasian integration. It is all considered as the key threat to the benefit of the United States. You see, so all those who are integrated, everything is a threat to United States. So now also Great Britain is also trying to prevent this. So that project Greater Eurasia is being implemented without EU. So STO, so CSO, so all participating in this, and the strengthening of all these organizations, providing resources for this process. So I would like to, Professor Klepich drew our attention absolutely fairly that Eurasian countries are different. It's not that easy to connect them in the Greater Eurasian space. And the key role, notwithstanding, so the Eurasian Economic Union is very important, and Russia plays a key role in this. This union is enjoying with Russian project 1.1 way, and this project has the free economic zone, free trade economic zone. We are also concluding in the negotiations with Indonesia, so we have connections of Eurasian Union with CS countries, and Russia plays key role in all these organizations. In CS2, and we have observer status in ASEAN. So BRICS is confirming the united role when and for 5 years, for the first time, there was leaders of leaders in China and India. Of course, the Western countries want to wedge their influence in between the countries. Since 2022, Russia has pivoted itself to the east. The volume 240, so 64 billion dollars. So was the turnover with India. So there are many conditions with upscaling the volume of trade, but also with the industrial cooperation with India and ASEAN countries. The example, the visit of Minister of Defense of India to us. We have a great cooperation in the defense and industrial countries in India and in China as well. It is principles the Eastern countries and the global South welcome and help the Eurasian integration. It's absolutely another approach from the Western countries who are always against the Union State, CIS and CS2. We understand the policy of Russia as to education of this from the Western countries. We left Council of Europe. We stopped suspending our participation in other alliances. But in OSCE, we didn't stop. But our deputies, they stopped in the parliamentary structure of it. Well, this suspension will not only we need to leave this OSCE organization, because otherwise we cannot but stop, because you see, the OSCE organization is moving Ukraine to NATO. How can we just be the members of it? So we need to change our attitude. There should be a parity, because this Western organization, they do not accept as partners our CSTO or actually COS. They're developing cooperation with separate countries. Russia should also stop cooperation with EU. We need to use the same mirror policy and develop separate cooperation with European countries, because this actually influence our cooperation with Germany, for example, and other countries, actually affected by the small Baltic countries. How does Baltic countries can prohibit to the Germany to communicate with Russia? It's ridiculous. So they prohibit just big countries to use Russian resources. So they're developing, for example, the ways to break the cooperation of this individual countries of European Union with Russia. And they're even going to separate countries in our organizations. For example, in Georgia, Moldova, Ukraine, look what's happening. The arguments of our diplomats that if we leave OSCE and if we stop partnership with NATO and European, only if we be together as CIS. No, we can do this alone. Russia itself concluded partnership with NATO itself, so we can drop this by ourselves, and that can be a sad example, because another position will be treated by the West as a weakness, and by our partners within Eurasian space as some sort of double standard. So because our countries should not follow those ideas. So in concluding, I would say that Eurasian integration as a post-Soviet scale and inside Eurasian countries is the absolute priority of the foreign policy of Russia. Thank you very much. Mikhail Vasilievich, thank you very much for a very fascinating. Now I'm giving the floor to Svetlana Rustanovs, we have an agreement, we have a joint project, we have a joint programs. Svetlana Rustamova, we are very glad to welcome you here in St. Petersburg. Dear participants of the forum, ladies and gentlemen, so let me also express gratitude for giving the floor to give the speech in front of a reputable audience. So very fascinating papers. So I've been working for several years working with this outlook. I understand that this forum is a integral part of December. Because every time we see new ideas, we are thinking about new collaborations, a new mentality. Well, this forum always brings me something new, and I hope that again I will have this. Well, we are living in the epoch of cardinal transformation. And it's been told many times, transition to multipolar world policy, the changes of global economic chains, technological breakthroughs, and the new role of human capital as strategic resource, they all defined our future. And I think in this context, forming of an integrated educational and integration space of Great Europe will be the key instrument for strengthening position of our community of global conference. Well, I do not think anybody argues the higher education in the new world. It's not just training of resources, it's the big social institute will befall intellectual elites and leadership, and the leadership stuff which will generate new ideas and create ideas for the economy of future. And effective educational systems of the Eurasian space countries will allow to increase the availability of the access of the education, will give the impetus economic and educational mobility, and will do and will affect the solution the solution to the tasks which will appear uncurrent. So we mentioned that each country of the Eurasian Asia has its unique experience in forming its systems, also educational systems, pedagogical tendencies, academic schools will give the impetus to the creators of the Eurasian educational space. An impetus to the creation of such a space will pave the way to the development of talents, or to exchange ideas, forming competences necessary to meet the challenges. So the important cultural effects as the mutual enrichments of Russian international values, and our Eurasia provides the balance and provide opportunities for self-realizations of each citizen, and it is an integral link strengthening the agreement in the society. Now I'd like to dwell on several aspects of such an integration in terms of the context of economic, social, and cultural specifics, which sometimes different in our countries, but also can provide way for mutual fulfillment. There are key aspects that I would like to dwell while discussing this subject. One of them is the creation of the transnational educational framework. So when we increase mobility, academic mobility, labor mobility, and today we have mentioned about the common labor market, that means a free movement of labor force, and it's important to form the system of this common qualifications, joint qualifications. That's why many countries develop qualification systems, and this is one of the key, most important trends which allow to meet very important challenges, both at the level of countries, also at the key industries, and building careers and developing skills, competences of each particular citizen. Well, the purpose is it is purposeful to learn the lessons presented by regions, so that we'll apply this experience to our geopolitical, cultural, and economical context. I believe the consolidation of our forces to create transnational framework will harmonize professional standards. Now, most of the countries, they are doing this, but they're doing this individually. For example, Kyrgyzstan and Russian Federation, they have agreements that they confirm, they admit the diplomas, the same diplomas, but the educational landscape is also transforming. Many other modes of acquiring knowledge is gaining popularity. Informal education is gaining popularity. Yeah, probably. Yeah, the education can be gained through different ways. Those agreements, will they be able to accept, admit, and meet the ideas of the informal education through the digital platforms? Through, for example, if the hybrid forms, if people study at workplaces, well, maybe those agreements, they do not include them yet. Yeah, but we need to include them. The development of the transnational framework will be beneficial for everybody, for government, for countries, for people. that will not only allow people choose a country to apply their skills, it also be a more rational distribution of human capital to decrease unemployment. Maybe the workers will follow more prospective sectors on the general integration. Well, to some degree, well, labor migrants problems could also be resolved. For example, it's also current issue for Kyrgyzstan and Russia. It's like an example in these two countries. As a result, we will have probably a very competitive human resources employment environment. Social, cultural of such a step should not be underestimated. This unified approach to accepting qualifications, and this is very important when people understand that your skills are valued, not only in this country but else will give an impetus. It will give impetus also to cultural exchange. They can go abroad and share their experience there, and bring their tradition and experience, and reaching other countries within the Greater Eurasia. Of course, as to the qualification framework, I would like to say, well, it's been for a long time that we mentioned that you need to do this step, but today we made remarks that Eurasian space has not been unified yet. There are too many cases when we try to form various parts. I live in Kyrgyzstan, and there are many players in our field. And currently, for example, despite that we are in EAE, we do not form unified framework, but now that we initiated the project, which probably will make it allow to develop joint qualifications and Central Asian space. Well, but European Union supports this. You see, it's a battle for the influence for the space of Eurasia. It's the competitiveness is very yes, it's very topical, and we need to understand this. So the exchange of qualification and also accepting the qualification and recognizing them is very important. We need to understand. We need to put a new gist, a new essence, which will enliven the cooperation between science and economy. We'll speak about some vehicles which are established in countries at national level. For example, transnational clusters, specialized communities, unifying universities, research centers, technological parks, industrial manufacturing, so creative industry starts up around some key lines. And this cluster interaction is one of the steps that the higher education should not be left alone from the real sector, but will promote innovation structure of the whole region. So that's why we'll form the transnational ecosystem, where all this organization will work together, exchanging resources, increasing in multiple terms their potential capacity. So we can use more actively joint research, hybrid from using cloud system, joint modeling. It's also possible now, which will provide unprecedented agreement and similar cooperation, even they are geographically separate. Now, modern digital technologies and online platform allow to apply such hybrid research. It's always used, and it's not uncommon anymore. And it will allow the representative of businesses and authorities to work not restricted to geographical borders. Well, actually, we already have it, but those system, network universities, Well, I mentioned don't go to dwell on that, but the format which exists, will it create this the critical mass so that it could be has a competitive enough competitive edge? Probably we'll need to source new formats. Well, this is dual diplomas formats. Well, but we need to think probably something else. They should be complementary. Well, they should employ those strong points of each university of each country, but actually the State University of Economics, we had a good experience, a great consortium of universities. We developed probably with 12 models. There was program, master's program in tourism, when actually the student could actually choose, elect models and construct his way of education. Well, but we were not able to complete this the implementation because we do not have fully recognized documents, so we haven't developed it to the conclusion. As to the personalization of educational programs, personalization of educational trajectories, personalization of their careers, professional careers, that's also one of the key ways so that we can use the talents and to make the activities of our Eurasian space more effective. Human capital, it is the strategic richness. It is dependent on the aptitude to develop and economics knowledge, and this hybrid system, transnational clusters interaction, they all can create better conditions for professional growth. So what could be the practical ways to achieve those goals? Well, first of all, let's look where those regional framework systems are working most of all. When is easier to do this, to this qualifying? Who are the leaders? Well, European Union is they're the leading now because there are very robust over-national structures. Well, they do provide not only accepting their decision, but also they have deadlines, they have more established documents, they have more coordinated task force, which actually monitor those and how it is put into practice. Well, we can treat it differently, this European Union, from the political point of view. But, well, if they do this successfully, cannot we just, use it the same here? Well, to my mind, currently, we also need probably to have this over-national structures, maybe new formats that they, to my outlook, they could improve the situation. The activization of this network universities, transnational educational formats or new formats, including micro-qualification formats. For example, taking into consideration the competence and skills which gained in an informal way, through this online education, individual online education, that could be very put into the international support of cluster interaction and other. It could be transnational funds. It can be some transnational investment programs which will help clusters in the research collaboration. There are probably some joint tools to forecast and coordinate, maybe analytical platform based on AI, so which will provide identification of some deficiency in competences, and they will shorten the costs to launch joint project. And in conclusion, I would like to tell that, well, dear colleagues, we are witnessing strategic window of opportunity, and this complex integration in the system of the higher education is one of the instruments for the
Eurasia to be the focus of the social stability. Joining our forces, we can strengthen the position of the region and the globe and in the globe. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that for the joint cooperation in this way. Thank you very much. Svetlana Rustamova, thanks a lot. Dear colleagues, small comments as a moderator. University Atal is one of the dynamically developing university of Kyrgyzstan. It's an active participant of a number of national and international projects, and it is actively participating and providing quality education in the country and international level. So Svetlana Rustamova, she's a higher educational reformist in the European Union and Kyrgyzstan, and she's actually promoting the best practice, the tools which are actually employed around the world, not restricted to Europe or Asia. Could be used in the national system of Kyrgyzstan. So those practices which we have already, she mentioned one of the network programs. Currently, we are developing new network university in the framework of model legislation of CIS countries. Some time ago, we developed model recommendation in 2019 to improve the quality of education in CIS country. Interparliamentary Assembly, which is actually here in this Taurida Palace, is launching contest on topical constants to develop special legislation. Of course, we studied the experience of all CIS countries, especially Kyrgyzstan, and also then we exchanged that experience. I gave a speech in the Ministry of Education in Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, and we communicated with all the rectors and exchanged knowledge and best practices. And I consider those ideas which were spoken of, developing joint research programs. They're very topical. We have common history. We have many aspects which are connected with the historical development and the special attitude of our countries to each other. So Russian language, of course, that we can mention, which students of Kyrgyzstan actually mastered. There are many other aspects which actually allow us to promote our cooperation. Those network progress which we create with CIS countries and other countries of the greater Eurasia or China can also be mentioned. They are at a higher level, and this cooperation should be continued. So thank you very much, Svetlana, for you that you provide these opportunities. Colleagues, we have one more paper outside. It is Oleg Luzhnikov, the chairperson of the Committee for International Cooperation of the Social Chamber, the chairperson of the from Perm Pedagogical University. So, yeah, candidate of historic science, PhD and history. So you have 5 minutes to present your book. Thank you. I express my gratitude to giving the opportunity to welcome everybody here. It is such a historic building of Taurida Palace, which was actually, in its time, was the center which produced ideas for all Eurasia. Well, the forum dedicated to the integration processes, the Eurasian space, is held in St. Petersburg on a permanent basis, regularly, the cultural capital of Russia, and I could also say the Greater Eurasia. From the Eurasian movement, at the center of the Eurasian research named after Vernadsky, I would like to present to your attention one of the fundamental research prepared by our. So it's the first textbooks on the history of Eurasian integration. So Eurasian sources and prospects. Together with Fyodor Tsinitsyn and under the leadership of Mr. Ivarchuk, last year we prepared a new catechesis of Eurasianship, so which we mentioned before, and this is this textbook, the text for all EU countries, actually provides the concept at the site of Presidential Library. It is available for free, so everybody can download this book there from the site. So what joins us? So joins us geography, unites us for thousands of years, for millennia. Eurasia has been united several times, and the ancient Skiff and Huns, Mongols, Soviet Union, Russian Empire. Now it's a new age, new stage. It could be either a new disintegration, fragmentation of this Russian, which actually looming as a chaos, and not only for Russia, for Eurasia as well. But otherwise, it could be a new stage of integration, as the historic practice shows. Integration is based on some idea. What could be the foundation of this integration idea on 2021? Well, based on the great countries of Eurasia, of our experience in the past, first of all, the idea of security, the level of CSTO, CSO, and BRICS as a global level, also parity of the fairness, equal rights, so also drop of colonialism ideas, and the creation of continental security, and based on it, a global security. The second pillar of the Eurasian idea is the economic development of the space of prosperity. So a decade ago, Vladimir Putin actually from this, maybe from this stage, to he announced the development of the greater Eurasian space. Yes, one belt, one way, and we can create this common prosperity space, which gives the foundation of prosperity of all countries in Eurasia. And the next pillar, the next very important pillar, which is historically proven as to the practice, is a basis of the Eurasian cultural code, the unity of multitude. We do not we do not deny others their inner values. We do not impose somebody's values on others. We do this respectfully in a fair way, yes, and we recognize our common great values from individual countries, which unites the peoples of greater Eurasia. It's an example of mutually beneficial coexistence on this, well, great territory. And it is through this key, the unity of multitude, it's the way for the whole human race. Through the integration of greater Eurasia, will build the architecture of the new multipolar world. Well, in detail, you can get yourself familiarized in our textbooks. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, also would like to recommend you. We have a Eurasian political economy. It's a traditional textbook. It was, I think we published it about 8 years ago. Okay, published years ago. Well, I recommend you to get familiarized with it, and also we have a number of departments participated and created. So the department of the economic theory, of economic thought, and it will be a good collaboration, new promising research colleagues. Concluding our plenary session, I would like to tell. So we try to form the agenda of our forum based on, in preamble you saw, based on the events which actually happened in 2024. It's an anniversary year, but it's not 50 just to, but they're round dates. 10 years since the signing the Treaty of EU. It's 25 of the Union State, 24 years of the chairmanship, and then the Russian chairmanship and BRICS, and all those events, they became sort of the result of this interaction. And we wanted to outline the new ideas for development. Many ideas have been sought in the development. Tomorrow we are enjoying round tables where the issues will be covered in detail. So concluding our plenary session, I would like to tell that in general the integration, cooperation of Greater Eurasia, the task was to show that's the basis of multipolar world. The key idea, I believe, in that to analyze key lines of development of multipolar world, key tasks to form it as especially the world where there would be no hegemony of one country, but will be a balance of forces of integration processes between countries, among countries. And finally, I would like to say the basis for it and the key idea for this multipolar world. And finally, is the creation of the preconditions to increase the prosperity of our countries, to increase the level of life. And if all this integration, our international alliances will understand this, all our efforts will focus on this, on the creative idea and the development. Thank you very much for this year that you gave your attention. There were very many speeches. Thank you for all those speakers who gave their views. Tomorrow will continue at the platform of St. Petersburg State University of Economics. You're all welcome there. Thank you very much.